Should I start by saying something random like I do in the regular videos? Or should we... Oh, hello! This is this is Hype Talk, the segment of Digital Hype TV where we capitalize on our personalities and just make an extra buck by doing nothing. So, Josh, do you want to talk about the a7RII Mark II?
Oh, I thought that was your phone. About to say, man, that's real professional.
Sponsored by Samsung. Alright. Oh, so, I mean, do you have any apprehensions about getting the a7RII? I mean, everyone seems to be hopping over to it, right? Like, I see it on the Facebook feed all the time.
Should we be talking with our mouth full? Is that obnoxious?
I don't give a fuck.
Well, I guess it really depends on what you use the camera for, right?
When they first announced it, it looked really nice. But for some reason, stepping back now, it looks... For some reason, it looks like a minor upgrade to me. No. I mean, it has 4K, and it has the stabilization on the inside. But for some reason, I don't think it's worth $3,000. Like, I feel like when the A9 or the A7S Mark II, or whatever they're going to call the successor comes out, I feel like that's going to be worth $3,000 and up.
Okay, so real world example, right? I do photography too. I have A7S. I'm trying to take a picture. It has like, what, 12 megapixels or whatever, right? Sometimes you need more resolution. And so I think people, they're looking for like, I guess, like a do-it-all or like a compromise or, you know, like a full frame mirrorless video camera that you could do photos as well, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably like an appeal, you know.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I guess that's why it doesn't appeal to me too much because I'm focused on filmmaking. So.
But like you told me, the 4K is only crop, right?
I think so. I actually want to double check on that. I specifically
2288.
No, everyone can hack into your.
That's also my PIN number. Easy to remember.
That's also the last 4 digits of his favorite credit card.
If you have like your PIN number for your ATM, your phone, your tablet, then it's super easy because you'll never forget it. Okay,
but I think 4K is only in APS-C. At least that's what I remember from like the first press release. But then I remember I didn't do too much research on the camera. I wasn't super hyped about it in the beginning. I kind of liked it for a second, enough to justify I think about selling my A7S for it. I didn't do so much research, but I remember seeing 4K in APS-C mode. I'm not sure if APS-C mode is like a better 4K or something. Let me check it out. But I don't know. Why'd you bring that up?
Well, I mean, I think that like one of the appeals of like the A7 series is full frame, you know. If it's 4K and just crop, it's kind of like getting a hooker and she only offers blowjobs when you're really trying to smash. Trying to go balls deep in them sugar walls. The nuts hanging out. Fuck out the way.
I'll make a compelling argument, Josh. Well, I mean,
you know where that's from, right?
No, I don't know where that's from at all. I thought you were just being gross.
That's from another channel, from a YouTube channel, a popular YouTube channel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you trying to collaborate with them?
Depends. If they're gonna cut us a check. So we only collaborate with people who cut us checks.
That's true. We're corporate sellouts. APS-C versus full frame in terms of depth of field. It doesn't really matter if you have a 50mm on a full frame and you put 50mm f1.8 on a full frame and you put on APS-C, it's 75mm like f3.5. That makes sense if you have a more telephoto lens. You agree, Josh? It's funny, the world doesn't think that that's scripted.
What do you mean?
But we, what?
Huh?
Huh? Anyways, with the a7RII Mark II, even if you shoot 4K in APS-C, you still get that full frame look. I'm still not gonna buy the camera. I'm gonna get a 7Q. If you haven't heard of the 7Q, you probably heard of the Shogun. It's basically it's like a monitor that also unlocks like better recording for your camera if it has the capabilities. If you put a 7Q into an A7S, you can shoot 4K. Without it, you can only shoot 1080. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Helps with focus peaking. Really good on set. Some of the tests that have come out show that the a7R Mark II doesn't have better. It has its low light capabilities aren't on the same level as the A7S. And you know, we shoot a lot of events. We need that low light capability. Obviously, the a7R, I heard you can take it up to like ISO 6400, which is a pretty comfortable range for events when you can't control the lighting. But I don't know, the A7S has very low light, and you know, I really don't need the 42 megapixels in the A7R. The in-body image stabilization is pretty nice, but you know, it's not a deal breaker for me personally. No. Josh likes the A7R Mark II because it makes him feel bigger in the pants.
I saw a guy come into Best Buy and he was like, "Hey, what's your best camera?" And obviously the salesman was like, "Oh, we got like a Canon 5D Mark III," and the guy's like, "Yeah, I buy it." You know, but you know that dude don't know what the fuck he's doing. So
I could actually make a film on my old Sony Ericsson slider phone. It's it was in the Chris Brown video for Yo, when he was young and before he beat women for a living. You just put the video right here. It's not. Did you forget to edit it into the video?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Let me show you something. Oh, fucking bitch. So all you kids out there,
this is good.
Sony's always been the best. That is until someone cuts us a bigger check. Your Samsung S3, S2 original Galaxy shoots better video than this. But this doesn't use SD cards. It doesn't use, what's the Sony's version of it? Where'd it go? See? This is what we call tape. That's why when you say you're shooting something, people say you're videotaping, because it's video and you're taping.
I don't know. A7R Mark II, A7S, 60D, iPhone, whatever. Just learn the basics. I feel like a bunch of people are going to get the A7R Mark II. You know, I said it doesn't seem like it's worth $3,000, and people bought the 5D for $3,000, 5D Mark III. It's just a good camera. I guess the only thing I would say it has over the A7R Mark II at this point is like it has weather sealing. So I mean, yeah, I think it's unfair. The A7R Mark II is worth $3,000. Not to me though.
Well, I mean, the camera's going to be worth what people are willing to pay for it. I think, you know, no matter what like the discussion is, Canon needs to step their game up.
Canon has good images, but I mean, I like video functions more than a brand. If Canon makes like a really kick-ass mirrorless camera next year, I mean, you know, I don't use Sony lenses anyways. I just switch to Canon. But
well, it's going to be kind of hard for them to make like a mirrorless camera that uses EF lenses. Because really, if they want to succeed, they need something to like take advantage of the EF lens system. Because that's like their strength.
That's, you know, that is probably it. The small size of a mirrorless with like small lenses, because you put that huge flange in there. And so you can use your EF lenses, which are like super heavy. That's why, you know, mirrorless lenses, they can get big. Like, I mean, we just did the review on this 9mm macro. It's really big, but it's really light. It doesn't have to accommodate for some stuff in DSLRs. So I think that might be why they're sticking to their DSLRs, because they have so many lenses. And then if they want to do mirrorless, they gotta start doing that. So I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, EOS M was like, the image quality out of EOS M wasn't that bad.
It was like the same as like a 60D or T3R or something.
Yeah, maybe something like that, you know? Because I shot like a 5-minute short porno with it, and it was pretty good. But the autofocus, like it sucks really bad, especially when you're trying to take pictures. It takes forever. And if you're using like an a6000, come on. I'm using an a6000. I took my EOS M just to kind of fuck around with it, and it was just garbage, like literally.
A6000 is the bay.
The bay?
The
What's EOS M?
EOS M is like an out of town $5 hooker.
Does it give blowjobs? That's fucked up.
It was like weak ass hand jobs. Her hands feel like sandpaper, and her pussy smell like cheese. She didn't have sex with you, but you can still smell it.
A7R Mark II.
A7R Mark II, if you want like the latest in video technology for run and gun, because internal 4K, 5-axis stabilization, pretty good low light. Some tests say you can go 6400. I think probably you go up to 12,800 ISO before it gets too unmanageable. I think the A7R Mark II might be like the ultimate run and gun camera, but if you have an A7S and if you don't mind putting a 7Q on there, I'd say you get that. That's my preference. I want to get 7Q because I want to go into like narrative films and just be on set. So I don't need the ultimate run and gun camera, which the A7S was.
So for me, if you do photo and you do video, then the A7R Mark II is a yay, especially if you're a fan of mirrorless. There's just something about DSLRs and photography that is very appealing.
Also, if you
like my penis.
Also, if you're planning on going for the A7R Mark II and you're kind of apprehensive, especially from Canon, with the Metabones adapter, I've seen some really fast autofocus. It might be loud compared to Sony lenses because it's not focused by wire. But yeah, if you want to switch from Canon, I think the A7R Mark II is a good camera to go to, simply because the autofocus looked pretty good so far. I'm not getting the A7R Mark II, but if you want to switch, that's something to keep in mind. It's not bad to use your Canon lens on it. So besides that, the first A7S II rumor has leaked. I think it's on Sony Alpha Rumors, buried beneath a bunch of like A7R2 stuff. Basically, it might have the similar body to the XC10, Canon's 4K Handycam Mini C100 thing.
Obviously, if they're going to release an A7S Mark II, who's a big target audience? A7S owners, right? And so, that's kind of like if you want them to buy the updated version of your camera, then it shouldn't look like completely different. It shouldn't feel completely different. The balance should be somewhat similar.
Yeah, it shouldn't alienate the previous generation. But I think what a lot of people are getting hung up on is if they're even going to call it the A7S Mark II. Obviously, there's going to be a successor to the A7S. I wouldn't say the A7R Mark II is a successor.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Sony's going to come out with something for the A7S number 2. It's not the A7R Mark II for sure.
Yeah.
Because they specifically split it into those 3 categories. There's A7, A7R, A7S for a reason,
Yeah.
Sony likes to milk the shit out.
Basically, it'd be like a baby FS7 or FS700, So if it does have... First off, I think the XC10 form factor makes sense. If you don't call it an A7 or an A9. Changing the body makes sense. What else can you add to the A7S body that the A7R Mark II doesn't have? Maybe like 4K in full frame, 12-bit, internal RAW, which that's not going to happen. So what other cameras have? They have internal NDs and they have XLRs, and you can't.
I feel like the A7S is kind of like a wink camera. Like, oh, this is a light sensitive photography camera. Wink. We know all you motherfuckers use it for video type of thing.
I don't get why people are angry about that form factor change. Like, if you want to move up in video, do you want to stick to the DSLR form factor forever? I think DSLR form factor isn't the best for video anyways.
Well, maybe those people do photo as well.
Yeah. Well, but then just get the A7R Mark II and have it.
That's why they have the A7R Mark II.
Yeah. So I don't get why people are like bitching about it,
Because they want that S. They want that A7R Mark II S. They want the S on it,
Stop complaining about the A7S Mark II looking like the XC10. Just get an A7R Mark II. A7R Mark III. let the video guys do their own thing with real video cameras. Bitch.
You know there's a subscribe button, right? When you click on the subscribe button and our videos pop up, you'll actually see it in your feed. And you won't get any spam emails from us or anything. Just click on subscribe so you can watch our videos as they come out. The more subscribers we get, the more money we get. The more money we get, the more resources we get. The more drunk we get. The more drunk we get, the more resources we have, the more material we have, the more time we have to make more of these videos for you. Alright? This shit's not free, this shit's not free, this shit's not free, neither is Butthole. Okay? This is Josh.
This is Jay.
With Digital Hype TV, and next week we'll show you how to...
You want to wrestle?